Well, it is a momentous occasion in wrestling history. It's the first time that, I guess in a sense, counting Triple H, 3 major stars had unannounced retirements, unbilled retirements on the biggest stage of them all.
Wait a minute, who's the 3?
Well, Steve Austin.
Uh-huh.
Triple H left his boots in the ring.
Uh-huh.
Vince McMahon.
Uh-huh.
3.
I thought you were including Undertaker in that since he officially
He said never say never. Vince McMahon.
True.
I can't understand if Vince McMahon's legs work. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I think it's his last match.
It was like that clip they showed that one time of the guy that jumped off the ropes at an outlaw show and landed on both feet and his feet bent backwards knees bent backwards like a stork.
I tweeted it out because it's the funniest image ever. The image of Vince taking the stunner. And Steve Austin, right at the moment, is spitting out beer.
Yep.
And you're looking, you're like, where are Vince's legs? Where are they? And someone tweeted out, it looks like they're on Splash Mountain. It's the funniest visual ever.
Did you see, we'll get to it, folks, later on in the program here, but did you see Austin's face when he realized even though it's the main event at WrestleMania, the last time he's going to be potentially in the ring in a situation like that, and he's still busting out laughing because he knew it was fucked. He couldn't grab a hold. Vince was like Muhammad Ali in his prime ducking punches, except Vince was trying to get to Austin and couldn't.
You know what? Look at it this way. If it really is the end of Vince, then it's 3 great stories coming to an end full circle. Steve Austin, first match, last match, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, last match, last thing he does, who knows, but let's just say.
Let's hope.
Him and Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Right there.
That, the concept was good, and it was a sight to behold.
Right.
All of it was a sight to behold. Some of the sights you weren't necessarily wanting to hold on to too long. Austin Theory celebrated what seemed like forever until the glass broke. And then again, I mean, obviously, the people go crazy. Here comes Steve Austin. He's in the ring. He's face-to-face with Vince McMahon. He beats up Austin Theory. He gives Austin Theory a stunner. Austin Theory took 4 bumps on the same stunner.
It was like he was swimming in midair.
Yes, it was great. He went straight up, straight back, bumped up forwards and flipped. And anyway, he wanted to make sure that he made the most of that one. That's the first and last stunner that Austin Theory will ever take. It's like being figure forward by Flair or pile driven by Lawler or, spinning toe hold by Funk or whatever. It's an honor. So then Vince weasels out. They do the facials and the interplay with him and Austin. Hey, let's have a beer. And as soon as they go to have the beer, and folks, if you haven't seen the clip, it's all over Twitter. Mick Foley even shot his live reaction to it and put it on Twitter. Austin kicks Vince in the stomach to set up the stunner. When he kicked Vince in the stomach, Vince either not thinking or potentially off balance, went down to one knee on his right knee instead of just bending over. So since the stunner is kick and grab in kind of the same motion, Austin kicks Vince and goes to grab where he thinks his head is going to be, but Vince has gone down to a knee and Austin reaches over the top of him. There's no head there. Well, now Vince realizes what's happened and he tries to get back up to his feet. Well, now Austin is grabbing for him, but when Vince pushes himself up to his feet, he gets overbalanced and he staggers backwards into the ropes. Austin goes and Austin is trying to get Vince's head in his hands, and Vince is trying to feed back to Austin, but they're not syncing up in the middle. That's why I said earlier in the show, it looked like Muhammad Ali at the peak of his fucking powers, dodging punches of his opponents, except it was Vince accidentally not letting Austin grab him around the fucking head. And finally, Austin grabs him. And they're in the corner, and Austin's already starting to laugh. And by that point, he just sits down with the stunner, and Vince, instead of going to his knees, went to his ass, and they all collapsed in a heap. It looked like a monkey fucking a football. And Austin spit all of his beer out because he's like, this is the most preposterous, and gets up laughing his ass off because he's like, he just fell on his ass in Texas Stadium in front of 70-something thousand people because Vince couldn't stand up straight.
He hit the stunner, and give him credit. From the moment he first tried to hit it, he had beer in his mouth. He was waiting. So the whole time Vince is doing the rope-a-dope, he's holding the beer in his mouth. And when he finally hits it, like I said, the greatest visual ever. Vince, you can't even see where his legs are. Yeah. He just looks like a torso in pain. And right in front of him is Austin spitting the beer out. It's the funniest fucking picture of all time.
It looked like Austin gave a stunner to the legless man in the AEW Battle Royal. And just... And then, so Austin gets up and he's laughing. He starts calling for the beers, and Vince rolled out to somewhere. And then Austin called McAfee in to have a beer with him and drag, and then I guess he figured that can't be the last one I ever do. So he calls McAfee in and drinks beer with him, and then gives him a hell of a stunner. And McAfee, he took a completely different style of bump where he got knocked backwards up on tiptoes, froze, and then collapsed. But at least the last stunner that we will see was a good one, but the next to last one is the one that a lot of people, especially the boys in the business, are going to remember. It was worse than Linda's, wasn't it?
It was, and remember what I said to you before, everything was kind of cool, came full circle, including the fact that Vince's first stunner and his last stunner were the two worst stunners of all time.
That's right. He couldn't get the first one either, could he?
He sold it really weird. This one, again, we've seen the stunner now for 25, 30 years, and I've never seen anyone go down more that way.
All right, come on
just
now.
Just looking at the picture of Vince with Austin in front of him on Splash Mountain.